Stampers. It's Kelly Acheson at astampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. And for my, wait, what? Wednesday tip video, I wanted to touch on embossing folders because, you know, they're kind of for more than embossing if you can get real creative with them. So I've got some really great tips on using them for stamping. And I know I showed you one in the past where we used the hexagon folder to stamp up a, what do you call it, chicken wire background. So that was super fun. And now I'm going to show you how to use your embossing folder to not only stamp with it, but also emboss. And I made some really cute cards to share with you. I was super, super excited the way these turned out. So, little sneak peek. Ready? Ah, aren't these adorable? Let's get started and I'll show you just how to do it. Okay, so when I came up with this idea, the first thing that I needed to figure out is which embossing folders I was going to use. This one is the Petal Burst, and it's one of my favorites. I just like the texture of it, of course. I also tried out several more. I tried out the Lovely Lace one, the Softly Falling, and the Falling Petals. And I'll show you cards that I made with each one of these when we're finished. I also tried out the Fluttering Butterflies, and I'll show you the result of that one too. So the first thing we're going to do, I've got my cardstock layers cut here. My white piece here is 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. This piece is 3 3/4 by 5. And then I've got a piece of black that's an 1/8 inch bigger at 5 1/8 and 3 7/8. First thing we're going to do is take our embossing folder and we're going to figure out which side is raised and which side is indented. And usually the side that's indented, I don't know, I didn't really check to see if it was on all of these, is the one that has the Stampin' Up! Logo on it. So we are going to be using this side, and I am going to take Peekaboo Peach, and I am going to gently ink up my embossing folder. Now you don't want to push too hard because you don't want a bunch of ink to get into the grooves. This is a little tricky doing an embossing folder that has a lot of open space. So I'm very gently tapping this till it looks like it's in good shape. I want to get just a little bit more over here. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to place my cardstock in here. This is my smaller white layer, and I'm going to close my folder. Woo! And I'll bring my Big Shot in here so you can see exactly what's going on. And we're going to put our embossing folder. You know, embossing folders, the hinge should always go through your machine first. So there's your first really good tip. Well, I gave you another good tip about don't push the ink too hard, right? So I'm just going to run this through our machine. I'm doing it nice and slow so my camera doesn't bounce all over the place and make you guys seasick, because I don't want anybody throwing up while I am showing you how to make cards. That's not allowed. Okay, are you ready for the reveal? Ah, isn't that pretty? I haven't made one with this folder yet, so this is the first time I'm seeing it too, and I think I'm in love. Now, what do you do with this icky embossing folder that's got ink all over it? Well, first of all, you only use inks that are not permanent. Like you wouldn't use StazOn to do this, okay? So we're just going to use our regular dye-based inks, and all you do is take this and run it underwater in your sink, and you can set it up to dry, or you can dry it off with a towel. It washes right off. It doesn't stain your folder. It doesn't stick to it in any way, shape, or form. So that's pretty cool, right? Easy cleanup is always a bonus. So as long as I've got this beautiful piece here, I'm just going to show you how I made the rest of this card. I am using the greeting from this Oh So Succulent stamp set, and I have to tell you, this is one of the favorites in the New Occasions mini catalog. It has 30 different images in it, and succulents are so popular right now. You're going to see them in your stores all over the place. You're going to see them in pictures on blankets and pillows and probably even clothing. They're very, very popular. So I'm going to use Happy Birthday to a Very Special Person. And this is a super easy card because when I was making this card, my idea wasn't about the card and all the elements. It was about this cool technique with this folder. I'm inking this up in black ink, and I'm going to stamp it right at the top of my white layer there. Remember, I told you this card was super duper simple. Whoops. And now I chose this color because I have ribbon that matches it, which is really, really pretty. And that's one of the things I really love about Stampin' Up! Is that we have ribbon to match our colors of ink and cardstock and all kinds of little embellishments, and it's easy. It makes my life easy when I'm trying to design stuff. So I just glued this onto our bigger layer in the back, and here's where that ribbon is going to come in. This is our Peekaboo Peach ribbon, and I'm just going to put this, I've already put tape on it, and I've put a piece of black and white baker's twine on here. Love baker's twine too. It's like one of my favorite go-tos. Easy to add a little spice to your card with baker's twine. And we're going to put this on that thin, maybe if I can get some glue out of my bottle, put this on that thin black layer. I like the thinner borders sometimes. And the thing that I really like about it is it just gives it that extra pop. Like the black ties into my words that I used, and then it gives it that pop. And here is Peekaboo Peach card base. That's 8.5 by 5.5, and I just folded it in half. That was a lot of halves there. I said that really fast without like getting tongue-tied too. So super pretty already, right? But here's my bonus. These are the succulent framelits that go with the Oh So Succulent stamp set. I know, I'm like, super duper cool. And all I was looking for was some flowers. So I use these two flowers right here. And I've already die cut them for you. Because this video wasn't about making a card, it was about the embossing folder technique. And then I took a sponge in the same color, Peekaboo Peach ink, and I sponged all the little edges of my flowers. And I've already done this one. You can see there's just a little bit, little bit darker on the edges here. And that just kind of gives it some highlights and some depth and some interest and all that good creative stuff, right? That's easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of effort. A little bit of glue on the back of this flower. Gonna glue that right here. And then I used this Blossom Flower Punch, and I punched out the smallest little flower on there of black cardstock, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue in the middle of my flower here and glue this down. And I thought, cheapers, what can I put in the middle of there? I need one more thing. So, here comes my white perfect accents. These are super fun, and you'll see that there's like black colored all over here. Maybe that's another video, but you can color these with Sharpie markers and make them any color you want. They're just kind of like little white pearlized accents, and I'm going to put that right in the middle of my flower. One thing I forgot to show you guys. To make these petals pop, you can do just like your curling ribbon. And this will make your flower have kind of a 3D effect. And I meant to do this before I glued it together. So sorry about that. You don't want to pull these too hard because you can rip them right off. But you can be kind of firm with them. And then I'm going to mount this on a couple dimensionals. And I'll just put my dimensionals right here where I know my flower is going to cover because I made a whole bunch of these to show you. So hang tight. Don't go anyplace. I've got a whole bunch of pretty flowers to show you. I'm going to make sure my petals aren't going into my words there. How stinking cute and easy was that? Do you love it? I love it. I was so happy with the way these turned out. So let me show you the rest of what I did here. This is Peekaboo Peach. This is Flirty Flamingo, and I tied a fun little bow with my baker's twine here. It's a triple bow, and I've got another video on that. So there's Flirty Flamingo. And here comes Mint Macaron. Oh my gosh, love, love, love. Now, you notice that I've got different embossing folders. This is the Softly Falling embossing folder. This is the Falling Petals embossing folder with the Peekaboo Peach. And here comes the lovely lace. And these petals I curled up instead of down. So do you see the difference there? This turned out really pretty too. And then I have another one in Flirty Flamingo with the falling petals. Oh, one more. I forgot about this one over there. Mint Macaron again with the lovely lace folder. So these are super easy. It's super easy to do this, and all you need is a die cut flower. You can really use any layering flower, but I thought that these succulents were just amazing. And the stamp set is stinking cute, and I didn't even hardly touch the stamp set to make this card, but don't you worry, because a lot more of this. I'm going to be creating a lot more with this. I just got this, and I can't hardly wait to play with it. I promised you that I would show you one other thing. Here's a little, whoops, here's a little tip about these folders. Now, you'll notice that this folder, these are just little dots, okay? So you've got a lot of flat space with little indented dots. This one, kind of the same thing. You've got a lot of flat space with little indented heart things. This one, again, your folder is pretty flat on this side. You've got a little bit more space here. But this particular folder has a lot of indented space. And so when I used this one, you can see that I had a really hard time keeping my ink up on the raised background or the negative of the folder, and it went down into the butterfly. So this particular folder, where it's got so much space being indented with these big butterflies, the big images, that is not the best. Let me see, can you see that better? This is not the best type of folder to use for this particular technique. So there you have it. I hope that I have taught you something new today. Or if not, just refresh your memory on something old that you already knew about. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. You can pop me an email at kelly@astampabove.com. And you can also hop on over to my blog at stampabove.com and check out what I've got going on there. I'm going to pick one lucky person, and I will send you one of these in each color. So if you leave a comment under my video, I will do a drawing, and I'll contact you to get your address so I can mail these out to you. That would be super fun. Thanks for stamping with me today, and add a little sparkle to someone's day and send them a card.